सबकी पीड़ा हरते देखा, सबकी पीड़ा हरते देखा, फूलों की तरह खिलते देखा, तारों की तरह चमकते देखा। सबके आंसू तुमने पोंछे, पर तुम ना हरगिज रोई थी। सबके आंसू तुमने पोंछे, पर तुम ना हरगिज रोई थी। गंभीर धीर ममता मूरत, सब में खुशियाँ भरते देखा, सब में खुशियाँ भरते देखा, फूलों की तरह खिलते देखा, तारों की तरह चमकते देखा। जब तुम धरती पे चलती थी,
Om Shanti, Sister Jayanti,
Om Shanti, Sister Runa.
and welcome to everyone. So today, of course, Sister Jayanti will revise the Murli of 9th of June, but just to give a little intro of Mama's arrival into Gyan, because we're remembering Mama today as well, because we won't get a chance to be with Sister Jayanti later, not on this revision. So yeah, it was quite interesting that Mama's father had passed away when Mama was quite young. And around the same time, Mama's aunt, her uncle had passed away. So there was her aunt and her mother who had just become widowed. And so both of them were in mourning. Mourning means like in sorrow, sadness. And they both decided to go live with their mother just to spend this time together. So Mama, her sister Gopi, went with Rocha Mata, who is Mama's mother, and Dhyani Ben, who is Mama's aunt. They went and stayed there. And can you believe that their house was literally around the corner from Brahma Baba's house? And so their other sister Parvati, she decided to come and visit and just give them some company. And so she bumped into Yashoda Mata and they got chatting just on the street. And then Parvati explained how much sorrow there was in the home, how much sorrow and sadness. So Yashoda Mata invited them to satsang, where Baba was sharing this knowledge. So the aunt and the mother went. And of course, when they came back, their faces were completely different, completely blossoming, completely not sad, not that happy, but not sad at all. So then Mama thought, wow, like what happened? And then, of course, they explained that Baba talked about the soul and death and all this. And that's how Mama went. Mama went the next day with them. And that was also interesting how when Baba saw Mama and Mama saw Baba, and it was like the long lost and now found meeting. So I find that very interesting, Sister Jayanti, that just as Mama had lost her father, she immediately found another father. And so there was no gap, really, nothing missing. So anyway, Sister Jayanti will also share a few stories. But yeah, just to remember Mama today. Thank you.
Om Shanti. And yes, this photograph, when I see it, reminds me of Mama's transition, because you see here in the photograph, it must have been immediately after they moved to Karachi. So she's still 16 or 17, and she looks like a little Kumari. And then you see about a year later, and definitely 18 months later, Mama doesn't look like a Kumari anymore. Something has happened to change her physical appearance, and she's become a mother. And so I found that fascinating, that the change of consciousness should bring about so much change in the physical appearance even. And so that was one aspect, Mama's transition from being a Kumari to becoming a mother so quickly in an amazingly short space of time. And then she was being called Mama by Baba because the trance messenger, the message had come through to say that this will be Saraswati, this will be Jagatamba, and your Mama, to look after all the mothers and the sisters. And in fact, it wasn't just the trance messenger and Baba speaking through the trance messenger, but it was also, of course, then Brahma Baba. Brahma Baba said, from now, Baba will call you Mama. And Mama was so shy. She said, no, Baba, I'm your daughter. And Baba said, no, Baba will call you Mama. And so, of course, she then had to accept that gracefully, but also not just the physical transition and then the giving of the name, but it was something she'd already started to do, because when she would hear the Murli, it was clear that she was not just listening, but she was absorbing it, and she would become, she would do and be what Baba was asking everybody to do and be in the Murli. But she was the one who actually demonstrated that. So many young ones, older ones, her own mother, the brothers, older than her, much older, they would come to her and say, but how did you practice this? How did you become this? And she would explain to them step by step what it is she was doing. And so the sustenance role began before the title was given, as always happens in the yajna. You don't get the title first and then do the work. You do the work inside, and then drama gives you the title. And so it's a very lovely story of how a young woman became Saraswati, became the world mother. And many say, but you know, she left so early. So the service she did is incomparable to what's happening today. And today there's so much more service. But if you look back through the generations, then you'll see, yes, everything came from Baba, but yet Mama was the one who actually was the model, the example in front of all the dadis. And whatever service the dadis did later on, the blessing for that goes back to Mama. And not just the dadis, but if I think about all the senior sisters whom I know, there's Moini Didi, there's Sudesh Didi, there was Dr. Nirmala Didi, Chakradhari Didi, all these Didis, where did they get their sustenance from? They will all tell you stories about Mama and how it was seeing Mama that gave them inspiration and made them surrender. So just imagine the service that's happening across the world. Some percentage of those blessings go back to Mama. And of course, everything, all blessings goes back to Baba. But she became the instrument to serve so many all around. And we're benefiting from all of that. So you can't calculate how much service being the role model did. So Mama definitely an inspiration for purity, inspiration for surrender to God. And you know how into yesterday's Murli, Baba has said, Turant Dan Mahapunya, the greatest charity is when it's instant donation. You don't think twice. And so not only Brahma Baba demonstrating that, but Mama demonstrating that also overnight, making a decision. She was already engaged to be married. And for her to have made that choice meant really going against the face of society and breaking that relationship and coming to Baba and surrendering. She did it, absolutely. No second thought about it. And so that same clear discernment capacity that we heard about for Brahma Baba. So truly, if there's a soul who followed in Brahma Baba's footsteps and Shiv Baba's steps, it was Mama. So that's why the number one, but then the number two. And amazing example to follow. And especially for everyone, providing this amazing contrast. Brahma Baba, much older, sees the world and then renounces the world, married with children, and Mama, a Kumari, what did she know of the world? Very little, very young, and yet renouncing the world just instantly. And Mama, the one without any other Lokik family or bondages, but just simply total surrender to God. Mama coming just as she was, bringing nothing. Baba bringing all his wealth. And it's a beautiful way to see how Shiv Baba allows everyone to claim their own highest role. Doesn't matter anything about external or Lokik situations. You come empty-handed to Baba and you can become Lakshmi. You come with all your treasures to Baba, yes, you can become Narayan. So beautiful examples. Brahma Baba had many visions. Mama didn't see even a tiny little sparkling star, nothing, just Gyan and yoga. So if you want to see total contrasts and how that opens the door of opportunity for everyone, each one, no question about it at all. So yesterday's Murli, again, every Murli is so powerful and has so many different answers. But I'll just highlight a few things that really struck me. One was, it's your birthright. You are the self-sovereign. As soon as you've come to Baba, Baba makes you so conscious, sits you on that throne so that you're able to claim self-sovereignty. The master of my physical senses, the master of my inner faculties. And to the extent that I take this birthright from God, I'm filled with light and might. And so the question about how do we take light and might, that was the answer Baba gave. Self-sovereignty. Take the power from Baba to sit on the throne, and that's it. And you're able to be the self-sovereign and the master. And then, what does the crown of light, where does that come from? And yes, it's purity, but where does purity come from? And Baba yesterday said, the might. The power that you take from God is the might, and that power gives you the strength to follow purity, and the purity then becomes your crown. And so interesting connections that Baba was making in all of this with light and might. And of course, and Baba saying, with this light and might, you become the angels. But what you have to do is to follow in the footsteps of Shiv Baba and Brahma Baba. Shiv Baba doesn't have footsteps, but you have to follow in the steps of Brahma Baba and Shiv Baba. Sometimes when we say follow the father, I get asked the question, which father? And so often we say Brahma Baba, because he's the one you can see. But of course, we're also following Shiv Baba. And think about Shiv Baba. Incorporeal, Baba wants us to be the same. The ocean of knowledge, Baba gives us that capacity to be the master ocean of knowledge. The benefactor, can I be the master benefactor, constantly, continually giving benefit to all? So Baba reminding us of all of this. But of course, the first and foremost thing, can I keep my mind and intellect clean and clear? And so what's going on in my mind? How much negativity was there before? Not anymore, I'm sure. Negativity is a thing of the past, but still a bit of waste thoughts or a huge amount of waste thoughts. And the questions why, how, if, but, maybe, and all of these then create all the waste thoughts that we tend to have. And Baba's saying that if you're carrying all these waste thoughts, how can you be an angel? You're carrying this big, big burden. And so time to stop the waste thoughts and just simply have a mind that is nothing but pure thoughts and good wishes. My thoughts and my feelings, my thoughts clean and pure, and so my feelings filled with nothing but sweetness and love and respect for all and good wishes for all. And so I have to keep my mind very, very clear and clean if I want to become an angel. And then the intellect. And so one is connected very much with thoughts, but the other, the subject of the intellect, and the intellect is this vessel. So what am I putting into this vessel? Am I putting in thoughts of criticism? I was saying, don't be a judge for others. But so often we have the habit, the Kali Yugi habits that we carry can be quite deep sometimes. And so do I still have that habit of, instead of seeing the light, I see the shadow? And yes, of course, it's a reality. When we come to Baba, no one is perfect. We all Tamo Pradhan. And our journey is to become Satu Pradhan. Mama did that journey very fast. Brahma Baba did that journey also very quickly. And why Mama left early is so that then we could recognize the senior mother, Brahma Baba. And so it's not that Baba's efforts were any less, number one, but he was to demonstrate what it's like to have somebody very near and dear to you pass away and still remain stable and a pillar of peace and acceptance of the drama. He demonstrated how it was to play that dual role of the father and the mother. So all that had to happen. So that was part of perfect drama. But yet, Brahma Baba demonstrating all of this and showing us what it is we need to do and the great capacity of Brahma Baba. All of us are blessed with all powers, but the first and foremost power, the power to discern. Why? Because then I'll apply the right power at the right moment. Not that I'm opposing something and facing up to it, when I should actually be tolerating something and accepting it. Or where I tolerate and accept something, maybe that was a time I should have stood up and said no. Maybe I should have faced it and faced whatever challenges would come my way. And so sometimes we get mixed up with all of this. And so the power to discern, when my intellect is clean and clear, and the influence of others makes the intellect unclear. One is my own habit of criticism and picking up negativity. And so I'm polluting my intellect with that. But the other is where we're influenced by whatever you see, whatever you hear. Just spend time with somebody for a few days and you begin to pick up the language they're using within a few days' time. And if you stay with them longer, it's not just influencing your language, it's influencing your way of thinking. Unless you're totally aware and totally conscious, and then you have Baba's influence over you, and you're able to keep that straight line connection with Baba. Human influence is enormous, but today also the influence of social media. If you've seen something, it's a video maybe, you've heard something, it's a short talk by somebody, and even if you don't agree with it immediately, it's buzzing around in your head. so-and-so said this, so-and-so said this. And if you reflect on it more, it's going to go deeper into your consciousness. And you begin to think that maybe what the person said is right. So the process of churning Gyan brings me closer to God, but the process of churning what humans have said takes me in the direction of human beings also. And so the clean, yes, we understand no impurity, criticism, etc., but also clear, no shadows. Every human being has a shadow that they cast. And so can I protect myself and stay under the canopy of God's light so that it's only God's light that is influencing my intellect? Baba and what Baba has said in the Murli, not even the interpretation of what somebody says, oh, what Baba really means is X, Y, Z. No, Baba's talking to me directly. And Baba's wanting me to accept and absorb what Baba is saying. And so, yes, we have this Murli discussion, but my hope is that it's not that you're going to remember, Sister Jayanti said this, 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 and this. It'll draw you closer to Baba, and you'll remember that Baba said this. And so the clear, clean intellect, to be able to have that connection so that your discernment capacity, your judgment capacity is able to be absolutely accurate. Any influence, and it's going to be flawed. It's going to be impacted by whatever the influence has been, but to be really clear and clean. And then the first thing that Baba did, instant donation is the greatest act of charity. If Baba had said, well, I'm going to think about it. Yes, I know I have to be the creator of a better world, but not yet. I've got to do this, I've got to do that. I'm still too young. I've still got things to arrange. No. The message came, Baba surrendered, instant donation. And it's not just a question of donation of money, but it's a question of my acceptance and doing what Baba's asking me to do on any level whatsoever. That is the greatest act of charity. And so, can I follow Baba in that understanding? Today I hear the Murli and I'm hearing Baba say, you are the angel. Don't even think I have to become the angel. You are the angel. Emerge those sanskars that are within you. Can I accept Baba's Srimat in that way and say, yes, Baba, this is what I am going to be. This is what I am going to do. And so, beautiful expression from Baba. And so the qualities of Shiv Baba, but then the qualities of Brahma Baba, that act of surrender and obedience. And then further, Baba's humility, always putting Shiv Baba in front. I have done nothing. It's Shiva who's doing everything. Yes, this is the microphone, but the speaker is Shiv Baba. And Brahma Baba shares his experience, but he'll always refer us to Shiv Baba. And so however much Gyan I'm able to give others, can I refer them back to Shiv Baba? Where is this coming from? And we saw this in the Dadis also, of course. Each and every one of them demonstrated this in a very beautiful way. And so Baba, not just reminding us of being angels, but reminding us that I have to switch my consciousness away from here to that stage. Can I do it in a second? Yes, I might get into my work, but my work is done. Can I go back up above and take on my angelic costume and be in that stage? The double light angels. So the form of light, but also no weight, no burden. And so having let go of all of that, the why, if, but, maybe, all the things that really make me very, very heavy. And you would have noticed it in yourself. If you say to yourself, it's Baba's task, I've made all the arrangements that I need to make. Not that you sit back and say, God's going to do it. He's not. You have to do it. But I've done all of that. Now I don't need to think about it anymore. Now I can just be with Baba and let Baba do the work, the magic. I'll do everything here, but the rest of it, which is the magic, that's in Baba's hands. So can I detach and be free and let Baba get on with it? If I keep thinking, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? No, I've done the best that I can. Everybody else is supporting and helping, and they're doing the best that they can. But now it's time to let go and let God. And so can I become double light instantly? And if I keep practicing this, letting go of all burdens and becoming double light, then there's going to come that moment suddenly when I don't know when, I don't know how. But the question of that examination paper is, can I step away from this, be with Baba, be the angel, and give light and support to all those who need it at that moment? If I'm taking too long now, I'll be too late later also. I can't expect that it's suddenly going to be better at that moment. But the practice over a long period of time prepares me and gets me ready for that. And so Baba's message was then, well, tell me how much time you need. How long do you need? And I remember that moment of Baba asking, and I thought, but how can I take responsibility for everyone else? It wasn't possible for me to say anything to Baba at that time. And I couldn't even say for myself, let alone everybody else. But thankfully, Dadi was there. And so Dadi then said to Baba, now, we'll do it now. And of course, she was ready. And so, yes, the last 20 years that Dadi continued to be with us, she was with us 20 years after that, but she was always the angel up above. Her period of making effort in terms of service, she was up above. And yes, there was all the challenges she still continued to have with a body that really was not right at all. But it was yoga power that kept that little body together, and she did so much through it. But definitely, she was talking for herself. Baba, I'm ready now. But of course, all of us now, as Baba keeps reminding, Baba's not going to go home alone. And although the advanced party souls are ready to go home, we're not ready yet. And so just that little bit of extra time for us. But we have to make good use of this time that still remains. And then Baba talking to the administrators. And it was a very fascinating sentence that Baba said to them, that what you're doing now is serving the administrators, but this is the service that's going to be needed for the future. And it was an interesting little question for me there. And I don't have an answer, but it's probably both things. Everything in the world depends on how things function and the administration. And so when Baba says, you need to serve these administrators and develop those skills yourself also, because you're going to need this in the future. So as Baba talking about the end times and how at that moment there will be a transition of power, maybe, but also definitely Baba's talking about the future, where all the administration will be seamless. No one making mistakes, no advisors needed, everything happening, everything done in the way it needs to happen, absolutely smoothly, seamlessly. But of course, then Baba also was opening it up to all the different wings. And Baba gave very clear guidelines at that time. And I'm sure that each one of those wings have fulfilled most of all of that. One, Baba said to them, bring others like yourselves so that you make sure that you have served people in your particular area, your particular profession. Secondly, they should all say that the need now is of spirituality, all of them. And then the third, to whatever extent, maybe they don't become students, they don't become Brahmins, but they're able to support and cooperate in God's task. And then fourthly, bring people together. At the moment, you're all scattered. And so whether it's 2 in one city, 4 in one city, 25 in another city, come together, inspire each other. Seeing each other will give you the inspiration to move forward faster. But not only that, then further, you serve internationally also. Come together nationally and show the results of how far all this has spread within your profession, and then do it internationally. And so that bit still remains to be done. The other 3, I think they've done quite a bit of work in moving things forward. And then Baba also talking to the media people. And yes, media is going to be the way forward. Already by then, Shiluben has been on a channel and she was taking up the subject of values. She was taking up each one of the topics of Baba's Gyan. And so she was the first broadcaster in that sense. She would go to Bombay and make many, many recordings, and they would be broadcasting, I think, every day for quite a while. And so Baba's saying that that's happened with television, but what about newspapers? And I'm very pleased to say it's happening with newspapers. There's, I think most of you know, but there's a newspaper called The Daily Guardian, and that's published in Delhi. And that carries a page of spiritual teachings of the Brahma Kumaris, different authors, but writers, but they all carry the message of all the aspects of Baba's Gyan. And so what Baba said at that time, it came about a few years ago. And so that's happened. The Times of India has a particular space called the Speaking Tree, and Brij Monpai is doing service there. There's lots of articles over the years now, all the festivals. He writes about the spiritual significance of the festivals. So that's also happened. So much of what Baba tells us to do, Baba's children have been following those instructions and have been doing all of that. The things that he's been telling us to do personally, we've been a little bit tardy in that, but hopefully now with Baba's final inspirations for us, they're going to really move ahead. Baba mentioned that it's waste thoughts that slow down effort, and you're not able to do the speed of effort that you would like to do. And if you follow Baba's Srimad, then what's going to happen is effort will be labor-free. Obstacles will be gone. You'll be able to do so much more easily. And so Baba's Murli yesterday, the inspiration to become an angel, an angel, an angel, by becoming double light and letting the mind and intellect be clean and clear. Step by step by step, Baba outlined it for us about what it is we need to be doing. Let me stop here.
Yes, wow, gentlemen, thank you so much. Amazing synopsis as usual. So actually I was going to ask you what happened at that time, whether you responded or not, but you already answered that. And I just wanted to add, gentlemen, that when Mama left the body, then Santri Dadi was around looking after her, and Baba sent her at 4 o'clock to see how she was. And that's when she noticed that Mama had passed away. So she went running to Baba. And then, of course, Baba came and he saw that she's flown away. And so Santri Dadi describes how Baba's stage, like he was totally unperturbed. He was totally stable. And he said Baba did what he had to do and she's gone, chali gayi. And anyway, that stays with me. And she was saying she doesn't know what was going on inside Brahma Baba, but at least that time he was so stable. So as you were explaining other things, maybe that was also, I don't want to say a test for Brahma Baba, but it was definitely a reflection of his stage to see one of his near and dear ones go, right?
I'm sure it was a test, and Baba passed with flying colors. And this is why later on, when Brahma Baba left, then Shiv Baba gave us that as an example, saying that you saw how when Mama left, Brahma Baba was totally stable. And so how come all of you are now in an ocean of upheaval? Baba gave that to us as an example.
That's
There
right.
was something very interesting I read just during COVID times, actually. So it would have been in 2020, because I picked up a book about Mama in Madhuban, and it had the 13 days bhog is offered, and there's either a message, and of course at that time it was messages from Mama rather than anything else, and the messages were pretty detailed. And in one message, Mama is saying how Baba then did the best thing that could ever have been done. Baba told them, sit in yoga. But Baba gave them an aim. Baba said, have such yoga that Shiv Baba sends her back to us. And because they were given that inspiration, that motivation, they sat very, very powerfully in yoga, all of them sitting around. But at one point, they've always said that we saw Mama come back. And I'd always wondered, how did they see Mama come back? And Mama's describing then what had happened, and the trance messenger is relating this. And she's saying that Baba said to me up above, everybody's remembering you so much, so much. Would you like to go down? And she said to Baba, no. But Baba said to her, they're remembering you. You should go down. So she said she came down and she entered that body, but that body was so cold and unwelcoming that very quickly she left it and went up again. And so it's a fact that they actually could see some stirring. And so they knew that Mama had come, but Mama went away. And of course, the body wasn't in any condition to support Mama. And so it was much, much better that the pain and everything finished, the karma was settled, Mama was free, and Baba was then able to send her to the advance party.
Right, thank you for that. Okay, so back to the Murli, and you did touch upon it where you mentioned, and Baba mentioned, that Brahma Baba had instant donation, right? Turant Dan Mahapunya, instant donation and great charity. When it came to decision making. So Jayanti Ben, what is the difference between instant and rushed and impulsive?
The difference is the quality of my capacity of the intellect. If my intellect is clear, I'm connected with God, God will give me a very clear touching, and I'll say, this is what I'm going to do. Rushed is when I say, I don't have enough time. I've got to do this now. I suppose I have to give an answer today. Everybody's pushing me and I'm feeling that pressure. And I don't take that time to see what is it that Baba's telling me. I'm being influenced by everybody around me and I'm getting into that pressure and I do something. Or impulsive is where my past habits take over. And because my past habit would have made me do this, now it's my past habit that's making me do it instead of, again, pause, connect. What does Baba want? It doesn't take time, but it's how I'm perceiving time. I don't have time. I don't have time. I have to do this now. I have to do this now. No, I'm having too many thoughts. Then we take the time, just a moment, connect. Baba will give me a clear answer, and I do it, and it'll be right. Rushed or impulsive, it's not going to be the right decision.
And then Baba sometimes says, wait and see also, Jayanti. So how do you know whether it should be now, instantaneously, or just wait and see?
When it was Baba's decision alone, do I surrender? Yes. Doesn't matter what anybody else is going to say. This is my hard-earned money. I'm going to surrender it to God. And I know everything will get sorted out. The other is where, I'll give you Dadi's example. We used to say to Dadi, Dadi, who's going to look after Global House? It's so big, so many departments. Who's going to be in reception? Who's going to be doing other things? And we didn't know. Dadi said, wait and see. And then as Global House began, then everything started to get slotted into place. So where it's my decision on my own, I can make a decision. That where it involves many other people and discussions, okay, let's wait and see who turns up and what happens.
And maybe this is a quick answer, but it came up. So what is the difference between soul conscious stage, natural stage, angelic stage? Is it the one stage with a different feeling? Just very briefly, maybe you can clarify that.
Soul consciousness is where I'm reminding myself, and the natural stage of soul consciousness is where I don't have to remind myself anymore, but I am seated here and the light is shining. And I can feel that whatever I'm doing, I'm operating from here. It's not here, but it's here. And Avyakt stage is that angelic stage where it's not just a soul, but I can feel myself in that angelic form of light, the shimmering costume of light that Baba sometimes speaks about. And so that's where I am, in the subtle experience with Baba, Brahma Baba, the angelic form of Brahma Baba, the angelic form of Mama with me.
Thank you. So, gentlemen, the other thing Baba mentioned is effort over a long period of time. So it's not just about effort, is it? It's about like a quality of effort. And there has to be a certain level of success in that effort. Otherwise, you're kind of just spinning around a vicious cycle. So when he explains effort over a long period of time, could you define that a bit more clearly?
Since the time I've come to Baba, have I been able to have a steady increment in my stage of purity, in my stage of joy, in my practice of soul consciousness, in my detachment from the body, so that then at that moment, which is the final moment, I can detach quickly, easily. And so if there's been a break in my purity, it means I go back. Now I have to start again. And it's harder. If it keeps happening, it's harder. I'll do it, but it needs more effort and determination. And so can I, wherever it is I've been in the past since coming to Baba, if my effort has been consistent, beautiful. But if for any reason, sometimes I've had questions about myself, doubts in myself, doubts in others, but I've overcome all of that. And I'm here with Baba today. And I'm reading Baba's Murli today. I'm hearing Baba. now from this moment on, at least, I don't know how much longer, but from this moment on, can I make my effort consistent so that I'm continually moving forward, not 10 steps forward and 5 steps backward, and I have to come back again. So that's what causes frustration, and it causes the loss of hope in the self, where I take 10 steps forward, come back 5 steps, and I have to do the same thing again. And so can I really keep moving forward? Even now, long time of effort is, how long is this piece of string? The daddies made effort for 70 years. We don't have 70 years. Since I've come to Baba, yes, maybe I've gone backwards a few times. It's okay. From now, let me keep moving forward without looking back at all.
Yeah, thank you. This has come up in the chat, so might as well just give it a moment. So Baba had talked about long distance vision and that children, long distance vision of many children is powerful, whereas their short-sighted vision is weak. So could you give your take on that, please?
It's so much easier to notice somebody else's ego, somebody else's jealousy or attachment. But for me to look, this is why Baba said, don't just say, I'm fine, but look deeply and honestly within yourself and see to what extent my mind is clean and clear. My intellect is absolutely shining bright. And so you'll be able to see yourself. And in seeing myself, I need to have that same detached observer consciousness. I'm here with Baba, and I'm looking at my chart today. How accurate was it? And in what ways was it not accurate? And so let me be able to pick up with Baba's help. Where's the ego? Where are the attachments? Anger and greed and lust are pretty clear. They're quite obvious. But it's the ego and it's the attachment that are more subtle. And of course, both are deeply connected, as we know. So I need Baba's help. I need to be with Baba, but be detached enough from myself to be able to see myself and to know these are the things I need to work on.
Yes, and in every Murli he's saying, right, check yourself, check yourself. We're so good at checking others. Yeah. Okay, here's another question from chat. So in Mama's versions read last Friday, she referred to Shiv Baba as the Lord of Matter. Can you clarify that? Because Shiv Baba never takes a body of his own.
Shiv Baba is the only one who has sufficient power to be able to purify the entire world. My yoga and my connection with God creates the fire of yoga. And so God is able to purify me, and I'm able to support that purification process for others also. But the whole world to be cleansed and purified on an external physical level, yes, there'll be upheaval and all the they show the Natraj dance of all the elements dancing around. So there'll be the floods, there'll be the earthquakes, there'll be the volcanoes. So all the elements are dancing. And so that's also helping to cleanse. But that final touch of purification in which everything then becomes pristine, clear, and pure, and the earth is beautiful, and everything is in its perfect balance and state of harmony, that's the Lord of Matter intervening in human affairs. We've created a whole imbalance in everything. But now the process of purification for ourselves with yoga, and Baba says, send out good vibrations to matter, to the earth, the air, the water, the fire, etc. But we do that for a few minutes each day, maybe. But that's actually so that then matter can cooperate with us, so that in the end times, I won't feel suffering and pain, whether I'm about to go in water or I'm about to go in an earthquake, whether it's the earth or whether it's the water that's going to take this. But I won't feel the suffering of that. I'll be detached and the soul will be able to fly. But who then calms everything down and settles everything down to make it satyug again? That's God's role, the one who purifies human souls and matter. So definitely the Lord of matter.
So that's like his creation, isn't it? Yeah.
That's right. The recreation.
Yeah. Okay, here's another question. So, gentlemen, we always talk about love and law. And so there's somebody who wants to follow more love, and another side wants to follow more law. And I feel it's more a question of the sanskars rather than the issue itself, because of love and law, qualities. So I remember Baba saying actually in a Murli that your law should actually be love. So I'm asking you the question, in a situation, in any kind of center situation, what should we focus on more? Should it be the love or should it be the law? What should be forsaken?
Baba had said to the Madhava Nivasis, actually, what you're talking about, that above the law is God's love. And so if it's human love, that's attachment. And so that's not going to be the truth. But God's love is part of truth. And so if we're sharing God's love in any center, then what we're doing is encouraging everyone with love to follow the path of the law. But if you just pick up a stick and say, this is the law, people don't have the capacity to tolerate that. But if you give them the experience of God's love through spirituality and spiritual sustenance, then automatically that allows the soul to start following the law.
True. Okay, here's another question. So the slogan said, the blessings you receive by doing service are the greatest gifts of all. But gentlemen, sometimes instead of getting blessings, there is jealousy of others. So how can I remain free from the jealousy of others?
Mama's example, she came with 300 others, but she played a role with such humility that nobody challenged her position and said, how come Mama is given this chance? Why not me? Because her humility demonstrated why she was being given that position. So when I do service, can I do it with such inner state of consciousness of humility, really, truly, genuinely, and that won't arouse anybody's negative feelings against me. They'll feel that, yes, it's an opportunity that was right for the soul. They'll feel that. They'll say, she's the right person. She deserves it. But where I don't have that deep, deep humility, it can be challenged.
And there's another question about bodiless stage. Is it just during traffic control, or could it just, is it specifically when you stop for traffic control, or can it be when you're moving, in action, doing things, working?
I personally feel bodiless and doing things doesn't go together. At that time, doing things take on your costume of light. And the absolute bodiless stage is actually the seed stage, when you're sitting in yoga for a period of time, not even just the 3 minutes of traffic control. I think it takes time to meditate, make the connection, and then really just forget about the physical dimension totally and be in that bodiless stage without the body in Paramdham. And so it takes a few minutes to get to that stage. Connecting with Baba, no problem. Taking on your costume of light, no problem. But letting go of even those levels and just the soul in Paramdham, the seed, I think you need space and time for that.
Thank you. This is from Saturdays Murli. So Baba is in the body of Brahma, and so he too can be called a Brahmin. This was a line from Saturdays Murli. What does it mean?
It means that Brahma Baba is being called a Brahmin. It doesn't apply to Shiv Baba. And I noticed in the English Murli, it had the capital H, the capital He, which I think has led to this question. But in fact, it's Brahma who's the Brahmin, because he is the first Brahmin, and then he creates other Brahmins.
Mm.
So the father of Brahmins is a Brahmin himself.
Mm. Somebody's asking, how much will our vision at the end, after destruction, create a golden age? Obviously, it's God's work, but I'm not quite understanding the question. But is it about we bringing it on with our vision?
At this moment, my vision has to demonstrate my deity qualities, the purity, the bhai drishti, the sweetness, the respect. So this is the time when our vision is being transformed to the deity vision. But at the end, we go home, full stop. And then we come down in our deity form. So it's not our vision at the end, it's my vision today that's transforming me and allows me to take on my deity sanskars and move in that direction. My preparation.
Right. And somebody's asking, why was Mama chosen and not another sister? But genuine, that begs the question, is it that Mama was chosen, or is it that it was just her part? It's like sounding from this question as though Baba chose her, but I think she also rose to the occasion.
This was her part, this was her role, she was Radhe. And so it isn't that, at this moment in drama, I can create whichever role it is I choose for myself. And whatever role I choose for myself is going to be fixed each and every kalpa. And so last kalpa, Mama played that role of being the one totally lost in love with God, Radhe, and then she became Saraswati. So today, I can become the second Saraswati. I don't have to compete with Mama and ask why. That's her role. But there are 8 Lakshmis, there are 8 Narayans. So if the first one and second one are fixed, Mama and Baba. But there's all the other positions. Let me make that effort and claim it for myself. So just as nobody can say, why Brahma Baba? In the same way, nobody can say, why Mama? Nobody can say, why Dadiji? How is it that she became Dadiji?
Nobody
Role
can
and
say why.
effort.
Nobody can say why, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, gentlemen, I think we'll have to take this question to make the soul happy. I find it quite hard sometimes to navigate between the ideas of a hierarchical structure and that we are a family, especially when elders are of a dominating nature. How do I react to this as a younger Brahmin?
Okay, forget about personal situations. Think about a family. There's a mother and a father. There's an elder brother, elder sister, or elder sister, elder brother. There is a natural hierarchy. A couple of times I've come to Oxford early morning, and you see the ducks, and I think it's actually the Canadian geese. They're not ducks, they're Canadian geese. And you see them absolutely in a hierarchy. There's the father, there's the mother, and there's all the little ones. And every time I come, the little ones have grown a few inches, but it's a natural thing. the creators, the parents, are of course going to be the ones who are at the top of the tree, and then the others. And so it is a hierarchy, but the word hierarchy actually means sacred order. And it doesn't mean imposition. And yes, I know that we all carry our sanskars. And so maybe that's what's the problem at the moment, that it's not the sacred order, but whoever's in charge has been put there for good reason. Brahma, Baba, and I can't challenge that. They definitely have a lot more experience, a lot more wisdom than me. Now, this is what Baba's now saying, long-term vision, long-distance vision, and close vision. Can I, instead of seeing their faults, recognize why Baba's put them there? There's a lot of experience there. There's a lot of wisdom there, and I can benefit from that. But let me see myself. What is it in me that's reacting? Is it my ego? Is it my desire? What is it? And so let me come to terms with it myself instead of reacting against it. Let me understand and then learn to adjust with that.
Yes, thank you, Sister Jayanti. Another lovely session with you. And Sister Jayanti is going to be flying around the globe. I'm sure some of you will see her there or there. And we'll end now. Have a lovely Mama's month. And Om Shanti. Thank you.
We'll let you know future dates.
Yeah.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Sing to me, goddess, sing to me songs from the earth and the sky and the sea, stories and tales from your life so long. Teach me the songs that will keep me strong. All over the earth you are giving birth. All life is quickening, spring is awakening, wrapped in your arms with such tenderness, bathed in the love of your sweet caress. You are the goddess that gives us all things, birds in the sky flying on the wing, flowers that bloom and trees that grow tall. You are the goddess that blesses us all. Lie-da-di-di-di-di-di-di. Sing to me, goddess, sing to me songs from the earth and the sky and the sea, stories and tales from your life so long. Teach me the songs that will keep me strong. All over the earth you are giving birth. All life is quickening, spirit awakening, dancing in the moonlight or laughing in the sun, bathed in the bliss of your holy love. Lie-da-di-di-di-di-di-di, lie-da-di-di. Sing to me, goddess, sing to me songs from the earth and the sky and the sea, stories and tales from your life so long. Teach me the songs that will keep me strong. Teach me the songs that will keep me me strong. Teach me the songs that will keep me strong.